All right, everybody, stand by here for a second.
Two decades of severe weather experience here for you when it counts. This is Doc Deason's Weather, live now.
All right, everybody, here we go. Taking a look at this Sioux tornado warning, which was just issued for Smith County here just a couple of minutes ago. Weather Service and the folks in the Smith County Emergency Management Office have spotted a tornado that was near the Winona High School area. And that thing is moving northeast at about 25. Let's see here. It's moving northeast at 30. So they're going to put northeastern Smith, I should say, and Wood County inside the box. They will also include southwestern Upshur County. Goes to 11 o'clock, so we got 20 minutes on that. Storm located, confirmed tornado, by the way. This was observed. This was not a radar indication, although it had a faint-looking signal, according to the Weather Service, on their radar, near Winona or 13 miles west of Gladewater, going northeast at about 30 miles an hour. And of course, with that being said, there's not a lot of guesswork in on this. We've got some folks with eyes on the ground, thank the Lord, who can see that and give us an idea as to what it is we're looking at versus having to rely on the radar to show us what we think might be going on there. Here's the radar. The storm itself now looks to be over the Big Sandy area right now. Circulation is probably just south, maybe on the south side of Big Sandy. If there's much there, it's pretty benign looking on the radar. Looking at the velocities and the regular base reflectivity. Again, the velocity products on the left side of the screen here. And the tornado polygon, the red box, which shoots out and includes Winona, Hawkins, Big Sandy, and those points back up further to the north into just east of Holly Lake Ranch. So that is what we're going with right now. I know, Kyle, not seeing much there. That looks like an absolute setup or an absolute definitive tornado. But when you've got people with eyes on the ground who can say that, we throw it all out the window otherwise. So, again, tornado warning officially running until 11 o'clock, so that's about 18 more minutes. That'll include folks in northeastern Smith County, southeastern Wood County, and southwestern Upshur County for a confirmed tornado located near Winona. Apparently, it was, again, near the Winona High School when it was initially seen by the folks that called it in. This is not the first time we've had this happen. It was June a couple of years ago. We had a tornado that was confirmed on the ground in the western part of Tyler. Looked very benign on the radar, but it did do some damage. And so, with that being said, obviously you always want to have the eyes on the ground versus the pictures on the radar. But at this point, not a whole ton there being seen on the radar. Let's put it into motion, though, and we'll show you the general movement of this thing. As it tries to get spun up here just in a second. We've got some very heavy rainfall, which is going to be moving into the heart of Smith County from Lindale back south into Tyler here shortly. So that's a whole other set of potential problems that we'll be dealing with. But the radar seems to be having some trouble with the loop. So let me switch to a secondary source here. This one may be able to fire up a little quicker. Okay, here we go. This is, again, there's Winona to the south, Hawkins, Big Sandy. Again, you can see some, maybe a little bit of rotation there just on the overall reflectivity product. Let me try to put Yeah, let's put this back in here on a side-by-side. What we're looking at here, I'm using two different radar programs. One of them puts the velocity on the right-hand side. One of them puts it on the left. This one, again, the velocity product is on the right-hand side. So if there is anything there, probably in between Hawkins and Big Sandy, I would think right now. But it's hard to make it out. Let me do this here. I think that will work better now. My apologies. All right. So here's where we are. The whatever we have is probably between Big Sandy and Hawkins, right there on Highway 80, south or due north of Winona. The storm that was seen, the tornado that was seen near the Winona High School area earlier on, and looks like this will pass just to the east of Holly Lake Ranch. So that give you some points of reference there real quick. Let me check a source real fast. See if there's anything else out there. Yeah, not a ton going on in this area from other folks identifying anything. There's a ton of rainfall, a ton of moisture in the atmosphere right now, and so it can make things tough to spot. But Lindale warnings went off. Becky, probably because Smith County was put under a tornado warning, I'm betting. Anytime these warnings come out, usually they will blanket the entire affected county. So if a storm is in the northeastern part of Smith County like this one is, you're probably going to get some type of a warning, even if you live in the southern parts of Smith County or central Smith County, away from the storm and the storm's path. But it definitely gets a lot of people's attention real fast, and this was not really one of those days where we were looking at a ton of tornado potential to start with. But what we do have is the warning officially running for about another 15 minutes. Looks to me like, yeah, I know, Mark. I didn't see too much talk about that either today. The biggest concern all going into this week has been for flash flooding, and we're seeing our share of that too. Gilmer alarms went off, Brittany, probably for the same reason that people in Smith County were hearing that, because Upshur County is also included in the tornado warning officially. Now, it's southwestern Upshur County, but it is nonetheless involving the county. And so even though the box itself doesn't quite get into Gilmer, it doesn't extend too far southwest of Gilmer. So that's probably a good reason why you'll see stuff coming off on your phones and whatnot. But again, the emergency management folks did spot a tornado on the ground back here within the last half hour near the Winona High School area, and that put all of this into motion and has us where we are right now. Not a terribly impressive looking signature, but with having somebody see something who knows what they are looking at, that makes a huge difference in what the Weather Service is comfortable issuing. And it had a weak signature on it here back a little bit earlier ago, and thus gives you that warning on it. All right, looks like Weather Service is going ahead and they're going to cancel the warning for Smith and Wood counties, I believe it is. Yeah, it looks like they're going to cancel that, which is good. That still leaves Upshur County in the mix, though. So that at least clears us out. The box will be reoriented, and they'll push it across. The storm itself, it looked like it was out of Smith County and Wood County for a bit, so it's not surprising that they go ahead and cancel that. But anytime these types of warnings are in place, the Weather Service folks understand that puts a lot of things in motion that are very taxing on the entities that they're warned. So the county, on a countywide basis, they want to try to be as on top of these as they can in an effort to kind of relieve the counties affected. So that does leave us still with Upshur County tornado warning. That'll run until 11 o'clock at least. And this storm here looks like if you're going to try to tease something out of all this, I'm thinking just north of Big Sandy, northwest of Big Sandy, most likely, if there's something there still. And it didn't look like there was much going on prior to the warning being issued, at least on radar. But for the time, the polygon itself, the official one, does not include the city of Gilmer. You can see that polygon's been trimmed now, and does include Big Sandy right there along Highway 80, southern part of the county, southwestern part of the county. So let's see here. See here. So they are going to keep the warning up till 11 o'clock officially. Storm there near Big Sandy, moving northeast. So that they're looking at the same thing that we're talking about here, as far as the location of whatever this is, if it's still able to maintain itself. But moving northeast at about 30 miles an hour will get it up close to, but probably just to the west of Gilmer within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Some decent wind potentially in there, due north of Big Sandy. It's an awfully muddy picture there, but that's nonetheless what we've got to work with. If you're just now joining us, 10:50, we hopped on after the Weather Service was relayed a message from Smith County Emergency Management that we had a tornado on the ground near Winona High School, and that set off the cascade of events that got us the warning and got folks up to speed, hopefully, on what's going on. With the school just now kind of being back into session, a lot of folks are still trying to get their legs under them. So of all the times to have something like this happen, it's awful early in the game for the schools and whatnot. They've got enough things they're trying to deal with without having to worry about this as well. So let's pull out here real quick till we get some more information. I don't want to lose sight of the heavy rainfall that's going to be moving across Smith County here in the next little bit. So we've had somewhat of a respite. We're at 9,700s here at the office on Old Jacksonville since midnight. And then this additional kind of this second leg of heavy rainfall closing in on the city right now. Smith County is under flash flood warning, as are our neighbors to the north with Upshur County and Wood County. And the heavy rainfall coming through is going to do nothing but aggravate that further. Hard to believe we're doing this after having done so little in rain for the last couple of months, but it's nice to have that punch in the gut for this drought, I will tell you that. Nothing new from the Weather Service on this thing over southwest of Gilmer. Just looks like a lot of heavy rain in there. A little bit better concentration of wind, though. if you want to call it that. And we're south of 154 on this. About 6.5 more minutes left on the official warning. Doesn't mean they won't extend it, but what we're not seeing so much is anything indicative of a lot of debris where this potential thing could be sitting at, which is obviously great. Looking at that bottom left-hand box here with what we call the correlation coefficient. If something doesn't correlate to a raindrop or a hailstone or something of that nature, we'll see a marked decrease in the value here on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. But I don't see that showing up, which is obviously good from my perspective. Just another little tool that we'll kind of pull out of our box from time to time just to see if we do have an indication that something significant was hit and debris was lofted into the air and it's being seen by the radar. But that doesn't seem to be the case, at least right now. It doesn't mean something wasn't hit or some damage was not done. It's just saying there's nothing large and glaring from the radar's perspective over in Shreveport. So that's good. But about 5 more minutes on this warning officially. Again, tornado warning for Upshur County. This will be southwestern Upshur County. This will be along and south of Highway 154, just southwest of Gilmer. We had a report of a tornado on the ground near Winona High School back earlier in the hour, and that ended up causing the Weather Service. They saw what looked like some weak signature on radar and went ahead and pulled the trigger on it and issued the warning, which brought Smith County initially into it and also Wood County. But Wood and Smith have now been cleared of that. And we're just going to keep Southwest Upshur in there for the time being. As I talked about here a little bit ago, if you'll remember, it wasn't this summer. It was last summer, I believe it was. We had that tornado that popped up over near the Cascades and Bellwood Lake and the Lindsay Park area that got on the ground without a warning. Didn't look terribly spooky on the radar, but ended up doing some damage nonetheless. Could have hurt some people as well. But fortunately, they were able to relay that information to the county and the county to the Weather Service in a quick order, and were able to get the warning out. But this seems to be another one of those situations where it just didn't look that impressive on the radar. And as we've talked about over the last couple of years, you'll hear me say that from time to time. Our radar coverage is not the best in this neck of the woods to start with. So this is potentially another example of that. So let's see here what we got from the Weather Service. Anything new? Again, the bigger story today, which is what we've been expecting, is the rainfall and the potential for flooding. Got a new aerial flood advisory for Van Zandt County until 5 o'clock, which shouldn't be a surprise. If you're going to the Dallas area, you got plans to do that today, please be aware they're dealing with an awful lot of flooding up in the DFW area today. Jeannie, whatever it is in the north is just probably just due east of Holly Lake Ranch, south of 154 into southwestern Upshur County. I haven't seen any additional reports of anything on the ground. The radar returns are not that impressive. It's heading northeast. The storm itself is heading northeast at about 30 miles an hour. So here's the motion on that. Okay, so the heart of this, the heaviest of this stuff passes west of Gilmer. All right, Gilmer's not in the box per se. Some folks will be on the outlying southwestern edge of some of Gilmer might be seeing themselves in that, but the box itself does not make it all the way to 154, nor does it make it as far east as 271. But it continues to looks like it's losing some steam as well. If you look at the returns, the intensity, you can see how we go from a lot of these brighter red coloring pixels to more of a general that orange consistency, showing that the storm is losing some of its strength, which would seem to normally indicate that it's losing some of its potential to produce a tornado. I haven't seen much in the way of lightning either in this thing, to be honest with you. And going back to when it was near Winona, I don't even see a strike of lightning with that thing, which again is interesting, but nonetheless, that's what it is. And you don't have to have lightning to have a tornado. We had a tornado do some pretty good damage on the east side of Lindale about 7 years ago, right before Christmas. And I don't remember seeing a single strike of lightning with that thing, but it did some damage, peeled some roofs back, and definitely got some folks' attention. But this thing appears, the storm itself overall looks like it's losing some steam, so that's good. Still dropping a heck of a lot of rain, though. And the flash flood warning continues, by the way, for Upshur County, or for Wood County, I should say, and Smith County, and that will run. That's going to run for another 3 hours and 14 minutes per my radar app here. So we're at 11 o'clock now. Weather Service is going to expire the tornado warning for Upshur County. There goes the box. Storm looks like it's weakening, so that's good. Whatever it is or was, will continue to shove off to the northeast at about 25 to 30 miles an hour. So that takes care of that for the moment. Let's talk while we have a second about the rainfall, though, and the heavy rain that's going to be coming into Smith County here. It's in Smith County now, and the heavy rain is about to get into the heart of the city of Tyler, if it's not already here. Yeah, Randy, it is. Randy said it looks like 6 o'clock in the morning here. It was dark this morning when I was out earlier on, and it's going to be pretty darn dark out the window too. So what will have happen over the next hour or so? More heavy rainfall coming through the city. Rainfall rates will be very high with this stuff, albeit briefly. There's a ton of moisture in the air mass, as we've been talking about in my posts that you read. Hopefully those are helpful to you during the morning about 7 o'clock. And we've been talking about the fact that the air mass we got here is more akin to something you'd see down along the coast. Very tropical, tons of moisture loaded into it. And one thing about those air masses is they can drop a ton of rainfall. Intensities can be very high. Usually it's brief, kind of comes and goes in waves. But there are times when you'll have those things just set up and train over the top of you, like what they had over in the DFW area last night. And you have some, 4, 5, 6 inch rainfall totals in a pretty short amount of time. So let's see, we are at an inch now here at the office since midnight. And we'll continue to watch those numbers climb here the next hour or so. Here's a wide look at the radar showing kind of you can see some type of a feature causing that counterclockwise circulation, and that's probably a piece of what led to that little spin up there near Winona. You can kind of make out that little small area of circulation there. So this heavier rainfall from west of Holly Lake, strung out back to near Hawkins, on to between Lindale and Winona, and then into Tyler, and then stretching back over towards Chandler. And you can see a lot of heavy rainfall over Henderson County. Both Henderson County and Van Zandt County are under flash flood warnings. The let's see here. Flash flood warning for, let's try it there. If we can click on it. Flash flood warning for Henderson County goes for another 3.5 hours. The warning for Van Zant County will last, let's see here. Now, they may have actually allowed this Van Zant County warning to expire. Okay, well, that's good. Back further to the west, though, let's look at radar from Fort Worth. Okay, that's a part of our problem here. See that red box there where Fort Worth's radar should be? Fort Worth's been having some communication issues all morning long, to the point where I think the Nashville office was having to kind of assist them in a lot of their products earlier this morning. So a lot of communication issues going on today, and not the day we need to be having that kind of stuff, but that's what we got. So we'll keep an eye on the Shreveport radar for now. 7.5 inches in Grand Saline, Kendra. Okay, thanks for that. Appreciate that. Hey, Yoke, thanks, man. Flooding concern for Gregg in Smith County. Alicia, I'd say it's gonna kind of come and go, honestly, because as this rain comes through in waves, that'll kind of aggravate the situation. It'll be especially a problem in the city where you got a lot of paved roads, and that asphalt and concrete doesn't allow for anything to absorb, so it just wants to run off. And so the creeks and streams are haven't had a whole lot to do over the past couple of months, but they will get inundated pretty fast. And between the morning rainfall that we had and the stuff this afternoon, that'll tend to want to kind of irritate the flooding situation, even for those natural bodies like creeks and streams and whatnot. Yeah, Dean, I saw some reports out of DFW, some significant rainfall totals out in that part of the region. If you got, like I said, if you got travel plans going west towards DFW, you might check ahead on that if it's something you really have to do. I know they were canceling some flights to Dallas earlier this morning. Had a good friend who was supposed to get on a plane and head to the beach, and they got turned around because of that. So that's just one instance of the stuff that's been going on over near DFW. I'd show you what the radar looked like at DFW, but the radar is down right now. At least our ability to see it is down because of a lot of communication problems with Weather Service today. But you can make out still the green box covering Dallas County. That's Tarrant County there to the left. And all of those counties highlighted are within a flash flood warnings. So they're going flash flood for Dallas County until 1 o'clock. This will be the flash flood warning for Tarrant County. That's going to go until 1 o'clock. And that flash flood warning for Johnson County till 1:15. So there's more rain back to the west of us. It'll continue to kind of cycle through. And so I was not expecting to be doing something like this morning. So I don't have a ton of things kind of spun up for you like I would normally do. But this is kind of interesting. This is the National Weather Service. They have this hazards viewer here, which they'll update rainfall totals from automated gauges. So this will be kind of interesting to look at from our immediate area. So there's this is 24-hour totals, by the way. So this is since 11 o'clock yesterday. So we got 544 there. That's probably near the Wood County Airport. Inch 03 Tyler Pounds, 257 out in southeastern Van Zant County. At 537 is impressive, though, up near Winsboro. 4.5, Sulphur Springs. And 433 up there near Lake Fork. So I give you a little idea as to what's been going on. I saw a while ago also Cass County has rescinded their burn ban. It's going to be interesting to watch the burn ban situation kind of get shuffled over the next couple of days as commissioners' courts and whatnot will make decisions on that. The drought index will take a huge hit today, tomorrow. Took a big hit probably yesterday as well. But those measures will be looked at, and you'll probably see a number of those get yanked in the coming days due to the rain that we've had, which is great. All right, so I'm going to take this aside for now. If we have other stuff that needs to be talked about, anything really critical in the flood department, we can come back in and talk about that. Thanks for being a part of the page, by the way. And weather starts to get more interesting, usually not quite this early in the season. The tropics are starting to light up, so that's going to be another thing that we will look for. Normally in August, you're not dealing with much unless it is tropically tied when it comes to rainfall during the month of August. But in the coming days, we'll be watching the tropics. Yeah, some of the major highways took a hit in the Houston area during Harvey. Yeah, exactly right, Dean. And it's going to be it'll be interesting to watch that over the next couple of weeks. But as it stands right now, we will kind of keep tabs on things here and make posts as we need to. And we will talk again here very soon. Thanks again for being a part of the page. All right.
Thanks for watching this live broadcast from Doc Deason's Weather. When weather's at its worst, we're at our best. Doc Deason's Weather, the calm in the storm.